Hello and welcome to another special episode of Mindspeak presented by Health Global. I am Samik Sen and joining us today Mr. Adil Sumariwala, who is the President of Athletics Federation of India and is also the member of International Association of Athletics Federation. Mr. Sumariwala, thank you so much for taking out this time for us and welcome to our channel. First of all, I would like to begin by asking, is there any kind of anxiety with the Doctors Association in Japan being against the Tokyo Games?
I don't think athletes are concerned about that. The athletes are training. They are raring to go. They are waiting to reach there. I don't think they care about who's thinking what the public is thinking. They are only focused on the games and participating in the games.
Sure. Okay. So, what about the vaccination of the athletes who are traveling?
I think most athletes have been vaccinated. I think everyone has got their first shot. There are a few who had COVID and therefore their first shot was delayed, but everybody will be vaccinated. There is no issue on vaccination at all.
Okay. So was there any kind of trouble in terms of getting all the athletes vaccinated?
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. Actually, they were waiting to be vaccinated because if you remember, as far back as in September, I had requested the government that treat them as frontline workers since they're going to represent the country. Sure. And therefore, they should be vaccinated amongst the first people. So then ministry has been talking to Ministry of Health, etc. And they've sorted out a program. And I don't see any issue why anybody will not get vaccinated. And people have been, in some sport, I think people have even got themselves vaccinated by themselves even before the government rolled out its plan.
Okay. So the golden question, how confident do you feel about our chances of winning, especially during this pandemic?
So I am one of those who refuses to answer that question. We are confident we will win medals. I'm confident that we will win more medals than last time. But I am not one of those who likes to make a prediction on who will win what medal or what. So I can overall tell you our medal tally will be better than last time. Our athletes will do far better than they did last time. At least in athletics, definitely so. I can't speak for other sport. I know athletics, I'm the president. I think the performances of some of these athletes have been really good. And if they repeat their performances, they should do very well.
So we can expect some, some numbers in terms of gold as well.
So I am not going to discuss that. I am not. I am one of those guys who is process oriented. I believe we need to do the process right. And then whatever is the outcome, if we do the process right, will be the outcome.
Okay. Did you have to conduct any workshop or session to train the coaches and athletes online during the pandemic?
So we did the largest online coaches, technical officials, athletes program in the world.
Okay.
And our program was also went to something like 49 countries. We must have touched over 200,000. We must have touched over 200,000 individuals. We did things right from districts, from school teachers, right up to international, where 49 countries took part in our online seminars. Every single day, literally, for 3 to 4 hours, some program, whether it was a coaching program, whether it was a World Athletics program, whether it was a level 1 program, whether it was a level 2 program, whether it was officials program, a special program for women, a special program for women officials, a tremendous amount of things that we've done.
That is very impressive, actually. Very good. So what has been the impact of the pandemic on physical and mental health of the sports industry?
I don't know much about the sports industry, but I can tell you in athletics what it is, because for me, I think the way it's again the way you handle it. So we were in touch with our athletes right throughout. We had so many meetings with them. We had so many meetings with the coaches. We spoke to athletes one-on-one. We spoke to athletes in groups. We spoke to athletes and coaches. We spoke to some athletes and parents. We reached 550 districts. We reached out to 550 districts during this time. India has 700 odd districts. 550 districts we reached and talked to people in the districts, the secretaries, the presidents, the coaches, the school teachers. So I think, yes, people had issues, both physical and mental, because for the first time, it was something new for them. It was a huge change in their lifestyles. It was a huge change in their thinking. It was a huge change in their way of training. Everything was disrupted. But I think people have found a way now, a year down the line. Again, nobody knew when it would end. When it was ending, people thought, oh, great, and then boom, the second wave hit us. I think we are seeing slightly better figures, and everybody's talking about a third wave, which may not happen or may happen. So nobody today, the goalpost is moving all the time. So I think now people were very, very fixated that only we can do something like this, or we can do things like this. Now everybody is innovating. Everybody thinking of different ways to survive. Everybody is thinking, how do I beat the situation? So in that respect, I think really people have thought out of the box and been able to handle the situation. And I think the Athletic Federation and my athletes have handled the situation very, very well, and I'm very proud of them.
Okay, so do you have any, in your mind, a specific athlete who's like a favorite we can watch out for from the beginning?
So I think it's very clear that definitely the throwers, Neeraj, definitely the relays, the mixed relays, definitely a jumper, Srishan. So, I mean, I don't think one needs to do brain surgery or one needs to be a nuclear scientist, because when you look at rankings, when you do a little study, one would know that these are the guys we need to look out for.
Sure.
But I think if people do the best performances, we will have the best performance ever at the Olympic Games.
Okay. So do you think the infrastructure in India helps to compete in the global arena? Do we have sufficient infrastructure here?
I think so. I think we make a big issue out of it. I think there is basic infrastructure. Sometimes the infrastructure is there, but the weather is not good. For example, Patiala has outstanding infrastructure, but it's very hot in summer, it's very cold. We don't have a really good high performance center where you have a full-fledged track, where you have a full-fledged hill, where you have a full-fledged sand. So yes, but I think every country has its problems. We are not bad. We are not the greatest, but we are not bad. I think there are more softer things than looking at nutrition, sports science, sports medicine, biomechanics, biochemistry. I think these are the things that I think we could focus more on and look at these things more closely, even mental training, etc., than brick and mortar.
Okay. So how do you think the government can help to change or gain more prominence from an early age in the athletic scenario?
So why do we keep talking government? What is the rest of 1.3 billion people doing? Everything you want to ask the government. Why? The government is doing its bit. The government is giving you basic infrastructure. The government builds infrastructure for you. The government builds National Institute of Sports, etc., etc. But then, where is the private sector? What are they doing?
Sure.
Anywhere in the world, Anywhere in the world you see, whether it's the UK through its lottery process or in the US, which is through sponsorship model, these are all models where the government has got nothing to do with it. We want government to give us everything. Why? Why hasn't cricket done well? By not depending on government. So therefore, I think everybody, if you want things to improve, everybody should work as a team, the private sector as well as the public sector, the federations and the government. And I think it's a team effort that will make us do better. For example, we run the largest grassroots level, athletics run the largest grassroots level program in the world, where last time we had 503 districts coming and participating for a national championships. 4,500 children in 2 age groups, under 14, under 16. What is the government's involvement? Nothing. It is the federation that has done it. So if the federations, yes, of course, the government could help by funding it, etc., etc. But this is purely done by the federation. Now, if all federations start working at grassroots level, then things will be different. We can't keep depending on the government for everything. And this is, you look at, there are at least 30 countries, corporates whose net profits are more than 3,000 crores. 2.5% is your CSR budget, right?
Yeah.
There are not even 30 Olympic sport. If each of these corporates picks up one sport, gives it all the support it requires, it is 60 crores a year. If each of them takes up one sport and says, we will give you infrastructure, I'll give you 5 MBAs. Today, federations don't have money. Since they don't have the money, they will employ cheaper people whose output may not be great. If I had 5 MBAs in my office, I'd be very happy if I could get a proper infrastructure. I'm not asking for money. They can provide the support. If athletes have to, instead of traveling by train, if they can fly, I don't need the money. I don't need the tickets. Let's say ABC company sponsors my sport. They will buy the tickets for them. If they need kitting, they will buy. If they need a foreign coach, they will pay the foreign coach directly. If they need sports science, sports medicine or equipment, they pay directly. Nobody wants money from them. But there is no appetite. There is no appetite to come forward. So everybody can keep talking about why we are not doing well. My simple question is, what moral right do you have to even ask me that? You've not put in 1 rupee. You've not contributed. Then what are you talking about? So unless we all work together, the private sector has to come in. The government has to be there. The federations have to be there. And if we work together, all three, as equal partners, only then this country will become a sporting powerhouse. Which other country has got the amount of youth that we have got? Yes, a lot of that is below the poverty line. I'm discarding that. And there is an issue there, is the quality of the people because of the food that they get or because of the real poverty or the conditions they live in. Yes. But having said that, we have a huge population of youth. So if the private sector is not going to come in, then there is a problem because federations are not getting sponsorships. The government is doing its bit. The government is doing whatever it can. But then there is a private sector issue. I'm saying give money to the National Sports Development Fund. It doesn't have to be given to a federation. There can be a separate board which decides how much money should be given. Again, from federation, from corporates, and from the government. So I think you need to create this new infrastructure in this new system.
So talking about private companies, the private sector. So are we reaching out enough? What are we doing to reach out to them, according to you?
I think every single federation is reaching out. Federations which have politicians as its head may get some money, little money here and there, but that's not enough to really run a federation to that level. So when I have limited amount of money, do I employ somebody to run my federation or do I spend it on my athlete? Which comes first? If I don't have good administration, my athletes suffer. If I don't give money to the athlete, they say, "Arey, tumne aadmi ko itna pagar de diya. You're paying somebody so much money. That money you could have said given for the athlete's coaching." It's a chicken and egg situation.
I understand.
You need to break that chicken and egg situation.
Okay. So my last question to you, as an ex-Olympian, what would you like to tell an aspiring athlete?
So I have very simple thing. I would, like I said, I'm process driven. I would say to any athlete who's competing at any level, train as hard as you can, train the right way. It is not practice that makes you perfect. Perfect practice makes you perfect. Do the best you can with the environment which you are in. Fight hard, train hard, compete hard, and sleep well. Don't worry about the result. The best results will follow. Sleep well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sumariwala, for your time. I wish you all the best